You know, it's, you can chuckle at politicians, but British Columbians who have to live there under this shenanigans. I want to point out something. The Wall Street Journal is one of the most prestigious newspapers in America. The New York Times, I think, is probably the most prestigious if you can measure such things. But the Wall Street Journal is a very large readership, and it's a very large business readership. Pretty much if you're a serious businessman in America, you read the Wall Street Journal. And they had a significant report saying that British Columbia is a risky place now because of the land title issue you referred to, because the question of Indigenous sovereignty and Indigenous title is a live issue. The Wall Street Journal has told its, 1 million subscribers, like 2 million readers, to watch out for that province. That has got to be devastating for, when international companies talk about investing, they measure the local risk. That's why they wouldn't likely go to a place like, Kazakhstan. But crazy enough, Kazakhstan is probably a safer investment now than BC. What do you make of the fact that the story is spreading and that the whole world is talking about this?
This is so sad. BC is such a beautiful place with so much to it. As you know, many people have come here because it's beautiful British Columbia, and this is absolutely a huge risk. We're hearing of realtors who are saying people were wanting them to look for homes and they're like, no more. They were wanting them to sell their homes and they're also like, no more. We hear these concerns of, getting a new mortgage. The NDP government has come out now and said, okay, well, we're looking at least for the chunk of people in Richmond to give them financing so that they could at least have financing. Well, that's not a sustainable thing if this keeps happening, which, maybe it already is keep happening, because I take you back to Kamloops again. We just found out about that after the Cowichan versus Canada case. And that's a decade-old case. So we don't even know if these cases are already happening. There's parts of Port Coquitlam up for grabs. So far, it doesn't look like private. But of course, who wants to do business in British Columbia? Who wants to do any type of real estate in these particular areas, especially where it's happening? What does it mean for anybody? We don't know. And again, British Columbia is the most extreme jurisdiction in the world to have taken that aspirational UN framework for Indigenous rights. They ignored the UN's human rights, which would have included all of us, and they took the UN's idea of what Indigenous rights is, which includes that they should have access to any land that they ever walked on, pretty much, if they say they did. And they made that law binding. And they have a commitment to make all of our laws align here. So we're not just seeing this in land. We're seeing this in our conservation. They're starting to say that, before, if you would dig in a development and you would find something that was ancient, you would have to give it, over to the First Nations to have a look at. Okay, fair enough. Now they're trying to make it so that they could just say, hey, no, you can't do a development in there because we may have something under the ground there. So this is popping up in a very big way, and this is going to be a very big issue for 2026. You just wait and see.
I believe you. I sometimes call Alberta a good ideas laboratory, whether it's for tax reform or property rights, or there's a lot of freedom-oriented ideas that come from Alberta. But I think it's fair to say, and I say this with a heavy heart, that BC is sometimes a bad ideas laboratory. For example, the hard drugs that are, the safe supply, that idea has really progressed there. The eco-extremism. We've just been talking about Indigenous title, even the transgenderism in schools. It often gets started earliest in BC, and it goes wackiest. It's part of the wacky left coast. And you're right, it's so beautiful, and there's so many wonderful things. I think BC is, I love every province, but I think BC is probably the most beautiful. And it's just a shame that it has some of the worst politics. I'm glad you're out there. I'm glad whether it's the ostrich issue or the Indigenous land title, or watching as Francis Widdowson, the professor, tries to speak at a university, you're there. And I want you to make me a promise that you're going to stay safe in 2026. As you know, we provide security for your colleague in Montreal, Alexa Lavoie. They've got a bad case of Antifa out there. I know that once or twice you've been, crowded and rushed by Antifa. And we've had security for you before when you covered Jonathan Yaniv, the trans extremist. I want you to promise me that you're going to stay safe in 2026, and that if you need security, better to ask and not need it than the opposite. Because I'm a little bit worried because you're so successful and you're starting to get recognized. Before we turned the cameras on, you were telling me that you got recognized at a store in a really fun way.
Somebody bought us meat, our family meat. That was like the best gift ever, steaks.
Yeah, isn't that wonderful? You know what? When people buy you a gift just because they love your work, and there's 100 of those, but for every 100 like that, there's one hater. And I don't mean to be negative, and I'm not trying to end on a down note. It's just I want you to be safe because your reputation has grown so much, your profile has grown so much because of the stories we've been talking about. And I just want you to stay safe out there because we're in a little bit of a different world now. And I have this talk with Alexa and with David because that's the world we're in. So I want you to stay safe and keep doing your great journalism, and we will provide you with security. Our viewers, they love to provide security because that's the best thing they can do as a gift, as their gift to us, is to help keep you safe. Last word to you, Drea.
Well, thank you so much. You guys always keep me safe, and you're still protecting me from Yaniv, even in my own home. You've got security up. I don't know if you forgot, but you're keeping me very safe, and you always do. And thank you to all of our viewers who do donate at Journalist Defense Fund to make that possible. And, thank you to God for keeping me safe so far.
Right on. Well, happy Christmas to you and your family. And I just want to say, I mentioned this
Merry
before.
Christmas, Happy New Year. I should have said that to everybody.
No
too.
problem. You took your family with you to the ostrich farm. We got you an RV because you're a mom. You're a busy mom with a busy life. And the only way you were able to spend weeks out there was to, incredibly, take your family with you. And I thought it was sort of wonderful. And I really enjoyed seeing it. And thanks to your whole family for lending so much of you to us. Have a great year, my friend. Keep up the great work. And congratulations on winning the Viewer's Choice Award. Very much well deserved.
Thank you so much, everybody. Happy New Year. Love you all. You too, Ezra.
Thank you, Drea. See you later. Well, there she is, Drea Humphrey. Boy, what a great year she's had, and only bigger things to come.